And we are not live, not live. We are on. We are recording. I am Austin Light with American Demon Comics, and I am joined by Brandon Ingram with Dismay Comics. How have you been doing, Brandon?
Things have been good. Busy but good. That's usually my life moniker whenever someone texts me. They're like, "Hey, how have things been?" I'm like, "Busy but good." I'm
Yes,
short and to the point usually.
it's a weird thing because I used to be, excuse me, I used to be busy and not good because of the busy. But now
Yeah,
I feel like I have a busyness that I'm very passionate about, and it's a fun ride still. So yes, busy and good. Um, Tell us about that busy and goodness with your free time that you have been working on all these comics.
yeah. So I realized yesterday that we talked about it some last week of like I'm working on 7 different comics,
Hmm.
6 right now because one is already done and it's off to their side of things.
We're almost done.
But yeah, we're
I
almost done
hope.
as well. Yeah, edits are pretty much done. I might change all the dialogue. I'm thinking about scrapping it all and throwing in some new ones. Um, but no, it's good. Like I love working on all these comics, but I did realize yesterday when it was like I say yesterday, really last night when it was 1 a.m. I realized like, oh my gosh, like my entire free time. Like I'm when here's the thing. When I say, "Oh, my free time I spend making comics." Usually it's like, "Yeah, that's like a good bit of my free time. That's what I do." No, I mean all of my free time the past week has been dealing with making comics. Whether it's looking over the Mixam samples, whether it's emailing people and sending edits or reviewing covers, um, or and I'm not talking about like the mini comic covers. There's
Right.
like Gallows Man covers that
Oh
I
yeah.
had to review and stuff like that. Or editing Gallows Man 3 and I realized this past week like all 6 of my comics cuz sometimes there'll be a period as a writer slash editor there'll be a period where like it's been 2 weeks since I've done something on this comic because I'm waiting for this person to get their thing done. Then they send it to me and I edit sort of thing. This past week, like I've had at least one thing to do with all 6 of the titles. Some of them more than just one thing to do. But yeah, it's a lot as well as like making the Kickstarter. That's also comic related sort of thing.
It's starting to
Which the
sound like a
Kickstarter,
full-time job.
I that's the thing is like I wish I was getting paid right now. Because like my actual full-time job, that's where the money comes in. And then this
Hmm.
is like taking up any and all the rest of the time the past week or so, which I love it. I love making this stuff. But yeah, it would be good if this was some of that
It's an
income.
investment.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's how I see it is like these are 6 different titles that I'm working on and like it's a bunch of work now, but like one, I love doing it, and two, once I see the finished product of all 6 of these things, it's going to be
Hmm.
great.
Oh yeah.
Um, and also, I say like making 6 comics right now. That's not like me writing anything. I don't have the time to write right now, especially during Kickstarter time. Like I realized that last year when a Kickstarter is going, like I'll likely get no writing done until the Kickstarter's over, sort of
Hmm.
thing. Um, it's all just me editing comics or making a Kickstarter or doing this, doing that sort of thing. Um, I enjoy it, but I just mention all this to say it has been my entire free time, which is why I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. Is
Right.
like it has been this the entire time.
Hey, we haven't seen it either. You know, there's we were supposed to see it with Robbie, and
Mm.
Robbie went and watched it like
Yeah, yeah.
Friday.
Well, it's a part like he
Me
has to.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Um, but yeah, I've been staying busy, and to sometimes it's kind of a pain, but it's also, like I said, it's enjoyable when you're busy and
Yeah.
good. Um, when you have all these things to do that are pushing you to, so last Friday the funds came in for my Kickstarter, and I put in for the order from Comics Wellspring. I'm giving them another chance. I was trying to do the pricing and all this and that, and if I took away the one of the print proofs and just went with my issue 2 print proof, that was a big chunk of it off. Um, if I went with the same page, you know, the same page qualities and everything, and match them to what I was doing with Mixam, it was cheaper.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just went with Comics Wellspring. Said I'll give him and another big part of it was I thought that I already had the template. I thought that I would send this and they would be like, here's a digital proof. We'll send you your print proof. And I'd look at it and be like, wow, that's golden, But they have undergone a lot of changes the past 6 months. And the templates were included in that. They don't. So the way I did it to begin with is I got their spread template, and then went off of that, and it's directly, everything is already set up. I just download the template, and then it opened InDesign, and it was already ready to go. And it was like, this is perfect because there's no guesswork for me
Right,
to
right.
be like, they had all the instructions right there in the document. And so that's what I used the first time, and I thought I would just use it again the second time. And they're like, "Oh, we no longer do double page spreads, but if you want to, but we'll do our best to work with what you sent us." And I was like, "Cool. Well, go ahead and send me the new template and see what that's." So, or well, I didn't say send. I was like, "Hey, I've been looking for the template that's already set up in the document. Can you send? Where is that? Is it a thing anymore?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm my bad. Here you go. Here's one." And they just sent me the InDesign one. It's not as good. The page is set up right, like the the page is the right dimensions, and there's a bleed, but it doesn't show you where the safe area is with a column. And I don't know how to set that up. I mean, I'm sure it's real easy, but again, no guesswork. When they had it set up the way they liked it.
Yeah.
But I just went with that, and I've been going back and forth with them. A lot of my panels, a lot of this is my fault. Uh, I've been doing a lot of work on copy paper. My initial sketches are on copy paper, and I did not have the guides that like a regular Bristol comic book page uh, traditionally comes with. And so I was just kind of eyeballing it, trying to see where, give it enough space for trim. But unfortunately, a lot of pages have my panels kind of fall off at the sides. And I think that she had and that's based off the proof that she sent me, the digital proof.
Mhm.
And I think that she's also accounting for the slice at the very end, because when you get all those pages together and fold them, there there's a little stack of them. So like they're kind of pointed out, and they do a final cut on the very edge, to make sure all those pages are even uh, right here at the
Right.
opening. And I think she was accounting for that because a lot of pages on the right, the panels were just falling off the page. So I was like, yesterday, after a few days of back and forth, I was like, let me just use this new template. I'll send you, like, I even have my back cover not getting into the print proof because on the double page spread, I'd set it up to be on the right, but she could only see the left where it was white. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a back page, or a back cover, because it didn't show up." So I was like, to avoid all confusion from this point forward, I'm gonna just remake everything in this new template that you sent me. So I sent that to her last night. It's a pain. I hate having to deal with InDesign. I think InDesign is a crummy, awful program to use for layouts. And it's not like anything to do with it being the tools or how it, or that kind of thing. It's mainly just because they don't have compatibility across across devices. If I have one version of it on my desktop, it's different on my laptop. And if I'm going back and forth between my desktop and my laptop, I'm continuously having to convert it to match that one. And then I have to go back and fix all the text because it's like, we can't find this text. And it's like, it's a standard. I picked a standard text for a reason. Like, so I could kind of like avoid this. Oh, but I have to be like busy but good. It's a part of the comic experience and the independent experience that you have to kind of take on all these little pieces of work for yourself. But hopefully that will all be situated today. I have not got a response yet, but we'll see how that is when it comes in. They're usually very prompt.
I know, because you had mentioned you're using the InDesign one. I know they had the Photoshop one. What sucks about that is, like, at least for me, I hate that Photoshop costs a good chunk of change. Like, I don't use Photoshop. I use the baby's version of Photoshop for Adobe. I use Adobe Express. Like when I need like simple stuff like done and edited, I just use Adobe Express because it's free and it gets like usually I use Adobe Express for I don't have it on me, but like with Gallows Man or some of my books, there's like behind the scenes pages. Really what that is just me talking about the process and stuff like that. Like I'll just use Adobe Express for that type of stuff, as well as like the credits page and stuff like that. I have to. I'm already paying so much when it comes to making these comics and stuff. It's like if I can like cut any little corner and without it looking crappy.
Yeah,
I can cut any little corner in terms of costs. Like I'm going to try to do it. I don't want to pay $30 a month just so I can have a credits page and these back pages or whatever, or editing the back cover, because usually I'll get the art and then slap in the UPC barcode and the Dismay Comics logo. I'll usually do that in Adobe Express. But yeah, I mention all that to say I don't know the pains of InDesign, but I do know the pains of this crap costing a lot.
I do have to invest in the Adobe suite because I was trained in Adobe products. I was doing the comic originally with Photoshop. I make a lot of my logos in Illustrator, and I've been using InDesign every time I have to send in some kind of print for something, for the little zines, for stickers. But Illustrator is also really good for stickers. You know how to it's really good at making the image flat, and then doing a die cut kind of around it. Illustrator is also good for my enamel pen. I was able to make my pen in there. Again, really good with just having flat colors on there, big chunky lines to kind of just get like a product kind of thing made. So I I just don't know how I would live without it. Like I
Yeah.
probably could, but I'd have to go through a whole new learning curve with other programs and then I don't know. I don't have the faith in those programs to do everything that I know these other programs will do for me. So it's just a mess.
You had mentioned the sticker thing. It made me think, because I don't know if I've ever asked you what printing company do you go with the stickers?
I use Sticker Ninja. Um, they've been really good because the quality of the stickers have been awesome. I've tested them out myself, sticking them on different things. The glow in the dark came in really well, and they've been really fast. I mean, for like something that has to get printed and cut and shipped and
Right,
stuff
right.
like that, they usually do it within 3 weeks. Um,
What's like the quantity you usually order with them for
I
like
usually
one
get
sticker?
50. I think their minimum is 50,
Okay.
but um, and then each sticker comes out to about a what is it? 50 stickers usually costed me a little under $2 a sticker, maybe $1. I can't remember, but
Have you
I'd sell
used
them for like $3 or $4.
okay. Have you used Make Stickers before, or Make Sticker, the website?
I haven't used them. I haven't used any other place to get stickers yet because I don't have many um, right now. And when I got those stickers, I've been selling. I haven't sold out of any of them yet.
Yeah,
The
same.
glow in the dark, super popular, and I
Okay.
got those on Black Friday. So I got the I Pentagram Demon sticker, the regular one, and the glow in the dark on Black Friday. So I got like a significant discount. Uh, and they don't usually do discounts at Sticker Ninja. But those glow in the dark ones, they have a minimum of 25, but they were selling out. I only have like 3 left.
Okay. I'm currently trying to look at my password, because I usually use Make Stickers. I'm not like not sponsored or anything by Make Stickers. I just like I use them
Mm-hmm.
because it's pretty good quality and the price is pretty good. I'm trying to see if I can find some specific stuff. Um, Let me see. I wish I had some of these stickers on me right now, but we're recording. I don't want to interrupt stuff. But like Tales from Town City, I just pulled up like my last order, and I had 3 different stickers be printed with that. And I had a circle one. It
Mm-hmm.
was Hangmutt winking at the reader sort of thing, and it was 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and I printed 50 of those, and it wound up being 86 cents each, and it
Mm-hmm.
came out really good. And
Yeah.
then I also printed like a superhero cat one that's from that book, as well as the sloth captaining the ship sort of thing. I printed 100 of
Oh,
each of those. Um,
um, mine are actually closer to $1. I'm looking
okay,
at.
okay,
I didn't pay. I paid 53 for 50 stickers.
okay. That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just making sure, because if you're paying like close to $2 a sticker, I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I
have
was
to
like, that doesn't
guide
sound
you to a
right.
different place. Yeah, yeah.
But I was like, I don't remember because it felt like I paid 100, but I paid 100 because I got 2 different
You got 2.
stickers,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
100.
I get that.
Um, and yeah, so around $1 a sticker and selling them at 3 or 350, or 4, like the glow in the dark's 4. It's they've been really really good, and I like big stickers, so I get them, you know, whatever the design is kind of comes out differently, and they're always die cut, so like they have kind of a shape to them.
Yeah.
So whatever the design is, I go for 3x3 or 4x4 to make a big sticker, because I feel like it is more justifiable in buying a larger sticker. But yeah, when I said $2, I was like, I gotta check that because that doesn't sound right.
I was a little bit worried at first because like not with stickers, but I've had people in the past who are like starting to get into making comics and stuff,
Mhm.
and they mentioned like, oh, I'm going through this printer, and like the cost was this per unit, and then they are saying it like it's cheap, and I'm like, there's cheaper options, man. Like, for a 24 or 32 page book, you're paying $5 to $6 a unit. There are cheaper options, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but like, I don't know, like I just like to one for myself keep up with the different stuff, because if I ever find a better quality or cheaper thing, I'm going to always probably try it or at least look into it.
Mhm.
Um, but also don't want people not getting ripped off. That's not what I'm saying here. But if there are cheaper options with the same type of quality, I don't want people paying double what they should be paying,
For
whether it's
sure.
comics or stickers or whatever it may be. I just realized I don't know if I ever had a deal this good. I'm looking at this past order for the stickers with Make Stickers, and it was 3 different stickers. Wound up being 250 stickers in total. Uh, and after a multiple design discount, because once you do more than one design, more
Yeah.
than one sticker, you get a small discount there. After that, plus they had a coupon at the time, which they almost always have some
Mhm.
sort of coupon. It was a save $30 off orders of at least $75. So subtract $30 from the order. In total, after tax, for 250 stickers, 3 different designs, it was $132.19.
Nice.
I don't know if I ever had a deal that good for Make Stickers. So hopefully this next time when I'm ordering stickers, they have some more coupons and stuff like that, to where like 250 stickers, I'm paying 50 cents a piece, sort of thing. I like that.
I've been trying to get the t-shirts underway. I messaged a printer that will do the designs and stuff and put them on. Oh, well, let me first mention that I bought the shirts separately this time. And I got 45 shirts, which I think is about the same amount of shirts I got last time. I got no extra smalls. I don't know if I even got but 4 smalls. I think I got 4 so that I can put 2 of each design on 2 of them. And then I got like 10 of everything else. Like mediums I got maybe 8 mediums and then 10 of everything else. And because if you're getting shirts and you're selling them at conventions, people are big. Americans are big. And they like their big shirts, or people just like baggy shirts now. So
that's true.
So I'd say get a lot of your larger sizes, because we sold out really fast and struggling to sell the other ones.
The shirt sizes you went up to, did you go up to 3X or did you go beyond that?
No, I just go up to 3X. I think
that's
I usually only have 3X option as the biggest one, even though they cost a little bit more. A lot of people ask for them. A lot of people ask for 3X. So I always want to have 3X on hand.
Yeah.
And I ordered from Jiffy Shirts. I got 45 shirts for about $300, and they are very comfy. They're which is something I was looking for when I get these. The Bella Canva ones I got before, they're a little bit thicker, but they're also still very soft and comfortable. And then these are thinner, but they're soft and comfortable, and that's what I want. So Um, I'm still trying to get in touch with a printer and have them give me a quote. I did get in touch with a local printer like months and months ago that was dirt cheap. Like they were really, really cheap. Um, but our friend, um, well, our friend does wrestling and he sells merchandise. And he sells t-shirts, and they said that their printer is at low mill, and they do a really good job, and they're not expensive. They're pretty inexpensive. So um, I'm just waiting to hear back from them. I've messaged them 4 or 5 days ago now, so just waiting to hear back.
Just so I understand, you ordered the plain shirts and then you're going to a printer to do them? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think because, like I said, I got a really dirt cheap quote from a local printer, and I was like, I could be saving like $200 than going through custom ink. So it's just a little bit more work because I have to get in touch with them and hopefully don't mess up any of the shirts. So I'll be like, if you're gonna mess any of them up, try these smalls and mediums first.
Yeah. Have the smaller sizes be your test ones, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm. So that way I can sell them for 25. Maybe I might still sell them for 30, just to keep it even and adjusted for everything. But that way I'm actually making some money off of them.
Yeah,
making some of that dough.
With
It is a little
designs, are they like two color or more than two color? Or...
So one of the designs is going to just be the panel. I don't know if you recall this panel, but it's of a certain someone. I'm not going to name.
Forward.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not someone I'm going to name because they're not supposed to be named yet. You're not supposed to know who this is, but it's a cloaked figure with wings, and they're pouring their demonic water on baby Belial in the bath. That fountain thing. That's a panel that I want to be on a t-shirt. And then the eye pentagrams sticker that I have, I want that to be a design, and that one's going to be two color because I want it to have a white outline. It's going to be red, but I want it to have a white outline so it kind of stands out more. And then I do want my logo to be on the back at the, just like how the last print was.
Like the neck of it.
Mm-hmm. I want it to be at the top, or if it fits, if it's not too, distracting of the design, I might put it on the front in the corner or something. Just depends. But yeah, so one of them might be two color, and I don't know how much that would be, but worth it probably.
Yeah, as well as, I mean, like that's what I kind of hated with doing the Tales from Town City shirt is before that the Dismay Avenue shirt was just all white, and then like the shirt was black, so I just put in the settings like, oh, like all the black within it, just have that be the shirt. So really just a one color type thing.
Right.
Very cheap. Even on custom ink standards, if I had went with the company that I now go with, I could have got it even more cheaper. And then do Tales from Town City with the fierce pets, and it's like 10 colors. It's like, oh my gosh, this is yeah. Like, to where the company I went through, I definitely didn't go through custom ink. Like, you're doing like, if someone is doing like the online t-shirt order and you have more than like 5 or 6 colors, do not go through custom ink. It is pricey. I went through like Broken Arrow tees, and found pretty good quality t-shirts. I think they could have been a little bit better in terms of the feel. But pretty good quality t-shirts with the huge design on it. And I want to say including like 3XLs and a few other adjustments to the shirt. I think it was like somewhere between 16 and 18 a piece, which is a lot, but for the multiple colors and stuff like that. And this is also after shipping and tax and all that, you're looking at about 16 to 18 a piece. Compared to Custom Ink or any of the other sites, it's like, yes, like let's just do this, because I ordered 25 to 30 shirts. I can't remember how much. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let's just do this. 16 to 18 beats paying 25 to 30 a shirt on all these other websites. So
oh yeah. Golly.
But I say all that to say, if I do any t-shirts in the future going forward, I'm going to make sure no more than 3 colors, preferably 1 or 2 colors, because it cuts down on the cost so much.
You know, I think a lot of effective t-shirts are only just upwards of 3 colors. I think this one actually is just 2.
See,
well, I mean,
1, 2,
black,
yeah, because the owl part is the t-shirt itself,
right? Yeah. And it's a really cool shirt, and I've seen a lot of those like manga-esque t-shirts, where it's kind of like there's a abstract or like a shape in the back, and then you have the character, and then you have like some words or some Japanese lettering going down the side of it, and those are awesome. I really want to make a design similar to that for a character, but yeah, I think effective shirts have just very little coloring on them.
If I do any more t-shirts going forward, it's not going to be more than this. This is actually not a good one, because it's the design's a little bit small. On the other t-shirts it looks better. But yeah, nothing more than that sort of thing, because it's cheaper, and yeah, it can also, like you mentioned, the lesser colors can look better.
We can do like a deep dive on our experience with t-shirts in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about the Deep South Paracomicon coming up. This is in a month. I'm a guest, and I'm really excited. They're going to have me being a speaker. They're going to have me a special little spot as a guest, with the other guests. And I'm helping out with their signage and stuff. I just ordered some like knife feathered flags or something. I don't know but they're just like those stripped flags that just have a big logo on it. And
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They kind of flap outside of like opening events or something like that. And I'm projected to help them out more with that kind of signage, and that's kind of what helped me get a guest spot here. And they all what I'm really looking forward to is they have me being something, I guess, of a moderator or a questioner. I don't know exactly what my role is, but they want me to be presenting the questions to an exorcist and then to a demonologist, which I've listened to both of these guys. I went and did a little bit of research so that I knew who these guys were, and they really just sound a lot like the same. Like they say they are very similar people. They're both very Southern. These are not like of like high theology schooling or something.
Right.
They are investigators, and they just deal with more darker presences, and yeah, I'm going to go question them. I have questions myself. It's going to be fun. I kind of want to push them a little bit, kind of be like,
Yeah.
and one of them, uh, uh, Jeff Leeper. I heard him talk, and he seems very, very like down to earth, and he sounds like when he does an investigation, he says 90% of the time it's not anything. It's
Okay.
more of like it's something that we can explain. It's something that we can find
Right.
wrong with the house or wrong with a pipe or something that's leaking. He said one time they found an arsenic leak under a house that was really bad and causing all these weird things. Um, and he's like, that's just as satisfying to find out because it helps the person like live a little bit more peacefully
Yeah.
in their life. And then Jeremy, what's his last name? Anyways, Jeremy, I listen to him and he seems more like energetic about everything. It seems like he's more like uh, open or prone to there being entities that he's going to deal with and he's going to exercise and stuff like that. So that's really the main differences is in their personality that I have found. Otherwise, Jeremy, he learned under Catholicism or under a Catholic priest. Um, and he himself is not like super Catholic or anything. But he knows a lot about the way that Catholicism works, while Jeff seems more of like a minister kind of type, more of a Southern minister, typical kind of pastor kind of guy. So, um, yeah, it'll be fun to see what I don't know if they're going to give me questions to ask or if I need to be coming up with questions to ask. I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But to be somebody that went into this comic and has been looking at different sources and lectures and stuff like that about these old texts and old demons and philosophies and that kind of stuff. I'm really excited to talk to them about all of that.
So it's a panel that they're both on.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So and it's good
I
you're
hope
you're
so.
doing your research and stuff on both of them as well as like the topic at hand because I was mad at like if I was in the spot I would try to do the research but it's good you're doing the research and not like I've seen some panels not specifically in this area but I've seen some panels where they ask very broad basic stuff without knowing anything about it like let's say
Right.
this is exorcism and demonology you're just like so how do you like The Exorcist? Great movie, right?
um, yeah. Another difference that I picked up on them was Jeremy was very keen on talking about other entities, talking about like family curses, elementals. So elementals kind of like he said that those legends probably fall under things like fairies and trolls and stuff like that. And he's like, everything has this origin, so maybe there's something to it. Uh, and again, Jeff just seems kind of like he's just kind of going with the flow with whatever he runs into. He's just gonna have to kind of feel it out and deal with it that way. But Jeremy was like, no, incubus and succubus, he's under the opinion that those kind of things are like thought forms. I don't know if you're familiar with thought forms, but it's like thinking or believing in something so deeply and so hard that you actually manifest an energy of it. Um, and he was like, yeah, a succubus, that's something that somebody has struggled with so much that that it's real and it's there. He's like, and I don't really find that to be like an actual demonic entity.
Yeah.
And that's a really weird thing. I've never heard that before. It's a really cool perspective on it. Um, but he never said the word thought form. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be that's something I'm gonna bring up. So you thought about incubus and succubus being these entities that are believed in so much that they just kind of manifest. Have you ever heard of the word thought form? Because that's something that's practiced. That's something that people try to do, is thought form things into existence,
Yeah.
and make deities out of them, and worship and stuff like that. So again, just really cool crossroads that I'm at, because like I have been, even like I never knew what a thought form was until I started watching Wendigoon, where he was watching an ARG horror on YouTube that started going into thought forms. It's like that's the only reason I know what that is, but it's real. It's a thing in cultures and stuff. So it's my point being was just it's a cool crossroads that I find myself in, these interests that I get to ask these actual investigators about what they think.
I think it'll be good. Like, and also, I have been keeping up somewhat with the Deep South Paracomic-Con uh, social media and announcements and stuff they see, and I see on the website Austin's he's big guest right there. I think it's awesome. It's awesome to see that. You're gonna have to be careful at that panel. If you're dressed as your character, they might have to cast you out or something. They'll mistake you as an actual demon.
Yeah, I find that another layer of irony that I get to practice too, being the a demon. Everybody calls me a tiefling, and it's like one and the same. But uh, I feel like when people say tiefling, they very particularly mean like a D&D creature.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's what I
um,
think of when I hear that.
so uh, I hope that they will understand me as a demon.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, so that's gonna be fun. Just wanted to make that announcement, and the Deep South Paracami Con is one of the most fun conventions I've been to so far, and this is where I've met Brandon, and this is where I've made a lot of connections, and I just highly recommend that if you are in the area come September 14th and 15th of Ozark, Alabama, that you should go check it out. All right. So, Brandon, you have the Mixam samples and some original art.
Yes. Yes. I'll first go over the Mixam samples real quick. I'm not going to go into like super detail because some of it's like, ooh, a flyer. Let's talk about a flyer. But
Tell
yeah,
me about the quality and
brochure
dimensions of that flyer.
stuff, flyer, blah blah blah. Which now talking about the flyer, if I did get a flyer, I like the size and stuff. I would definitely get a different paper quality. This is
Oh,
like,
really?
what
Yeah.
is this like? But I know some people want like the super thin flyers and all that. No, this is a 70-pound satin. I do at
Hmm.
least 100 for anyone out there. If you're trying to get flyers, don't do 70. Do at least 100. I'd probably prefer 120. Uh, if you know printing stuff, then you'll know what the heck these stupid numbers mean. 120. Um, I don't care about that. Which actually, here's the thing. With all these other stuff that's not the comic itself,
Yeah.
with the sample, you can at least get a feel of what the paper is like.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's not a comic, but it'll say like on the back, this one says 120-pound uncoated cover, 80-pound uncoated text, so 80-pound uncoated interior. So you get a feel in terms of your comic to what that might feel like. Um, Same thing with this one, but the big one, they have their little comic, which this is a 5.4 inch by 8.3 inch. It doesn't need to be a standard size for the
Yeah.
sample. The main thing is just like how does it
Feeling
feel,
it.
sort of
Yeah.
thing. And how do the pages look? And honestly, like I was planning to likely go with satin interiors anyway, because I kind of like the way satin pages look, as well as I do like how the way they feel. But I like the way they look where it's gloss but not too glossy. That's been kind of my complaint sometimes with Comics Wellspring, is doing gloss interiors. Sometimes they come out like just too glossy, too
Hmm.
shiny. um, but satin pages, I think they look good. So this is 100-pound satin cover with a matte laminate over it, and then the interiors are 70-pound satin interiors. Overall, the interiors, because the main reason I got this is, yes, Dismay Comics, but specifically this project that I'm doing with 4 other artists, and I'm kind of in charge of the printing as well as the Kickstarter distribution sort of thing,
Hmm.
aside from writing the comic. Um, but no, I love these interiors. So when we print our comic, I told all of the guys, I told them all, order this sample pack. It's free. Like it's not even Comics Wellspring where you have to pay the shipping. Like
Yeah.
they do the shipping. Like it just gets shipped to you. And I got this in less than a week, the sample pack. Um, I told them all to order it so that we can talk about this as well as the other paper types and stuff like that. Um, because I want them to see, because I don't want to be the only one making these decisions. Because if it prints and then they get the comic and they don't like the feel of it, I don't want to have the butt of the
Right.
blame there. I want us all to decisively decide on this. It is all our comic. It's not
Brandon
mine.
got the freaking 70-pound paper.
I personally think this feels great. I think it looks great as well. The colors look great without it being too glossy. So I want the interiors to basically be exactly this one.
Yeah.
The cover, I like the feel of the cover. I like feels kind of sturdy, but not too much. I've seen some covers where it's like you flip it open, and it's like you hear the noise, you hear the whoop, like the sound of, like, hold on, I'll try to make the noise.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sound of like
The cardboard
cardstock.
kind of,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
cardboard. I don't like that. I don't like when it's like too thick and like you feel it and hear it. This one, 100, you don't really feel it too much.
Hmm.
They have an 80-pound satin cover. I'm it's either going to be an 80-pound or 100-pound satin cover, most likely. Uh, I'm still trying to decide on that. But here's the thing, I love the feel. This is just an example, though, but I love the feel of this matte lamentation on this cover. It feels nice, but realistically, I want colors to pop and kind of shine a
Hmm.
little bit. So probably won't have a matte lamentation. Plus, that's more expensive to do that. But I say all this to say this has helped me out a lot in deciding on the paper type, as well as, hey, do I even like this company? Do I even like the feel of their comics or whatever? And I do. I do like them. And that printing at, we're likely going to print 1,000 copies. Like, it's going to be cheaper than Comics Wellspring, as well as I talked with uh, some of the people at Mixam through email and stuff, and they said at like 1,000 or more copies, um, our comic is going to have 4 different covers because there's 4 different artists
Mm.
doing it, so each one's
Yeah.
going to do their own cover, and then we're also going to do a sketch cover. Uh, so there's 5 different covers, but all the interiors are the same. And they said we can digitally print the covers, and then since it's 1,000 copies, we can offset the interiors. We can offset print the interiors, which will be good. That's also going to be
Hmm.
a lot cheaper. Uh, so that gives me high hopes because I've already seen the price on Mixam without the offset printing quote. I've seen the calculated price of what I want way cheaper than Comics Wellspring. And then if this offset interior printing is even cheaper, like, yeah, definitely going to go with Mixam on this comic. I like the way it is. And then possibly any comic going forward from me, I might go through Mixam unless I'm printing like 200 or less comics. I'll probably still
Right.
go through Comics Wellspring, but no, like I like the feel of this, good quality, and it's going to be cheaper in the long run. Those are all wins to me.
Awesome. All right, and I think that you had some original art
Yes.
come in.
I'm not gonna show it all off, because this is a comic that's still being worked on. The coloring is being done right now, but we already settled on lettering and all that stuff. We did like the first page is completely done because we were trying to figure stuff out. But last week I had mentioned it, but I couldn't really show any of it because the weather here just sucked and everything looked bad on here. But I got some original art. I bought the original interior pages of issue 1 of a comic I'm working on. I'm going to try to pitch to a publisher. I bought all the original art. It came in like 2 weeks ago. And then a few days ago, the Mylar sleeves that I ordered through Bags Unlimited to put the art in, that came in. And then I bought this Profolio binder like a week or two ago. And I'll show the first page. That's right. Okay, but get that shine to stop. Well, you got a very shiny first page. Not too much detail to look at because it's so shiny because of the light.
Yeah. Oh, is that Dan E? Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can.
That looks good.
Dan
That's
G.
awesome.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
And I got Mike to sign each page. So I'm very happy about this. This is the first comic I've had where like I have interior original art from it that I've done, because most of the comics I have worked on, most of the artists just do digital, which I'm fine with. But like, if someone does traditional, and I'm working with them, if possible, I want to buy those pages, because I want to have that. So this is my first one where I have all the original pages from. Aside from that, I have all the main covers of the Gallows Man, because those were all done traditionally, as well as the variant cover for Tales from Town City that was done traditionally as well. But yeah, I'm happy about this. It's something I can look back on.
Oh, it's not. It's not monetary. It is.
Yeah.
It is for sentiment.
Now, if someone wants to pay me like $5,000 right now, I'll sell you all the pages.
Yeah, that's. God, I wish I did that. So, I said this a few podcasts ago, but I did the Anime Fest convention, and I had on display my first ink cover that I've ever done, like truly. And then it was for my very first half comic issue, and I just had it on display. It wasn't for sale or anything, and somebody was like, "How much would you?" It was like, "Hey, are you selling that?" I was like, "No, I'm not selling it." It's like, "How much would it take for me to just buy this off you right now?" I was like, I don't know, 150. Sold. And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Okay, actually it's 500." No, I had to stick with the 150, but from this point forward, I've had to keep in mind that original art's going to have a price tag on it. So
Yeah.
I have to be prepared to understand what I'm willing to part with it with, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I don't draw or make any of this, but I write it and I have the artist make it. It is still like my baby. So it is one of those
Mhm.
things where people could say like, "Oh, like original pages or original covers go for this." But me personally, because I don't want to just like detach with it immediately,
Right.
there's that how much what's my
Mhm.
limit in terms of being willing to detach? What's the
Yeah.
price limit of me being able to detach? And then that adds a little bit more to the price because ultimately I don't want to get rid of it right now. I love this thing. But at the right price, I might be willing to detach from it. But it's higher than what you might think it is, sort of thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. We gotta be prepared to to kind of have an idea of, because I didn't have an idea. I was like, I'm not selling this. This isn't for sale. Um, because if it is, it's at least 150,
Yeah.
and then but nobody's going to pay that. So I was just like, this is not going to be in my brain to sell. And first of it was my first cover. I wanted to keep it, and so I undershot that big time. Just under the quick pressure, and um, but it also did pay for the booth, so that was good.
That's good.
All right. We don't have any movies to review right now, uh,
I
but
haven't even really watched YouTube videos. I've listened to them in the past or the past week, but I haven't sat down and watched a YouTube video, a movie, anything of that. It's
you watch
just
House of the Dragon?
no. I haven't even finished Game of Thrones. I
Oh,
remember.
you don't have to finish Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
yeah. I'm not. Well, what made me not finish it is like what I heard with season 8 and stuff. It's like, oh well, I
Yeah.
don't even want to keep going because of everyone saying the ending essentially ruins the show. It doesn't
Hmm.
entirely from what I hear, but I watched the first 3 seasons, and by that point they were on like season 7 or something. And then I was like, okay, I'm hearing they're doing one last season. I'll wait till it's over, then I'll. At that time, I was buying all the seasons. Like Black Friday, I was buying all the seasons. Like I'll just buy them all once the last season comes out, and I'll
And I'll
watch it.
watch them all at the
And then
same time.
season 8 comes out, and everyone's like, "What did you do? What have you done?" I was
It
like,
starts
"Okay,
at season 5. In all honesty,
oh,
there's
okay,
there's a
okay,
lot of there's a lot of Game of Thrones, and some people want to justify it and be like, well, you can't everything be realistic. I mean, there's dragons, and but Game of Thrones sets a precedent very, very early on. It sets a precedent
yeah,
that that there's consequences, that there's logic involved, that there's time involved, that you know everything is moving at a very certain pace, and
right,
you and it was very clear and set, and in season 6 kind of started to steamroll the the lead up to season 8 of, 'cause they didn't have the writing and stuff, and then um on top of that they were getting offers for other projects. uh Dumb and Dumber, D&D, David Benioff and the other guy,
yeah,
uh
yeah,
D. um, they were getting offers to do other projects like Star Wars and stuff, and I think they were just getting very burnt out. I mean, you got to think that that was from 2011 to 2019 that they were doing Game of Thrones, and it wasn't their baby project that they stood. They was just a project that they thought should be on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't like their baby that in, their passion. So they got very burnt out on it and just like, just actually, we're done. Let's get it over with. And you could tell the writing, the directing, everything just got shafted. The only thing that didn't get shafted was the visual effects, but they, just like Long Legs, everything falls flat if it doesn't feel natural in the writing.
I remember a meme going around, but this isn't like I don't judge the quality of the show based on this meme. I just thought it was funny. I forgot what season it was, but it was a meme of like there's a Starbucks cup in the scene in the
Yeah.
back. I thought that was really fun.
Yep. There was a lot of defense come up to that too. People are like, "Oh, here's the 10 things you didn't notice in these other famous Hollywood productions. Did you notice the hand on the raptor in Jurassic Park when they were coming through the kitchen or something like that?" And it's like,
Yeah.
nobody. The Starbucks coffee thing was just a little like omen kind of thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't like the death of the show.
No.
It was just kind of like this is the fall from grace. Here we are. But so far, House of the Dragon is great. It's really good. I don't think that it has quite reached Game of Thrones level of writing, but I think that's for a very particular purpose. So the House of the Dragon is based on some background books that George has done that are very straightforward. They're very to the point. It's just kind of like a history lesson. It's not so much like story,
Right.
I guess you could say. So the showrunners and the directors have a lot to work with because they can just take the history and the actions that the characters have done and make a very good, make a more oriented for TV story out of it, if that makes sense. So I think that they've had a lot of they have a lot of limits from the history of it that they have in the books, and then they have a lot of freedom from the very vagueness that is kind of left in between the lines. So they've done a really good job of it. You don't have to watch Game of Thrones to know what's going on in House of the Dragon. It's really a prequel to Game of Thrones. I do have to say that knowing what happens in the original Game of Thrones kind of sours like any kind of callback or not callback, but kind of like any kind of homage to Game of Thrones. I go, I'm like, don't do that. But the actors are great. The visuals are great. The story's great. The story kind of goes up and down. It's kind of wavering in some, some writers, like the different episodes sometimes have different writers, and sometimes it just kind of is up and down, but it levels out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good show. I recommend watching that.
I might watch it eventually. Yeah, like the last thing I watched was The Boys season 4, and that was a couple weeks ago, and it's definitely the weakest season, but it's not bad. Like, I don't think any season of The Boys is bad. I think it's slowly gotten not downhill, but it's like okay, come on. The plus side is the next season is the last season, so it's like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to continue on this ride.
Yeah.
Because season 4, it's 8 episodes. it could have just been like 4 episodes with the content they had. There's just so much. My biggest issue with The Boys, even if you haven't seen it, the biggest issue is that keeps happening in every season. I'm so tired of it. Is the boys break up and then they're back together, and then they break up and then they're back together, and some go off and do their own thing, and now they're back. I'm so tired of that. Just like get rid of that. There's a bunch of other stuff I'm tired of with the show, like the especially with this season. The look, I'm not being a prude. This isn't coming from a prude sense. It's more just like this is very repetitive. How much like grotesque nastiness or grotesque sexual stuff there is in this season. It's in throughout the show, but this season, like, I don't know, either they did it a lot more or I don't know what it is. Like, yes, it's funny, but it's just like you're doing it so much to where it becomes like numbing. Like none of this is really, yes, it's still like shocking because that's the reason you're doing it, is like shock humor or shock value, but like you're just doing it so much to where I'm just like, okay, like tone it down some. Like,
right?
Why does every superhero have some weird sex kink or weird sex fetish? Like every superhero has one, and it's like, look, I'm not bashing kinks or anything, but like every superhero has this very, very individualized sexual weirdness to them. It's like this no longer feels real. Yes, this is all satire and parody, but it's too much now. Like, tone it back.
Yeah, going too deep onto individuals and not the story, I guess you could.
Yeah. The one saving grace of the show is Homelander is still like a great character. He's an awful person, but you love to watch him. That's the one saving grace of the show.
I have not watched Boys, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. I don't even think you have to. The plus side is season 5 is the last season, and that's coming up. If I had seen season 4 and then they were like, we have 3, maybe 4 more seasons to go, I would probably drop off the show right now. But since there's only one more season and season 4, the last episode is really good because it sets up a lot of crazy stuff for what will be season 5 / the conclusion. That has me wanting to finish this ride. But yeah, it's not bad, but for the boys standard, season 4 is a drop off.
Yeah. It's good to have kind of an end point for shows. That's why I enjoy Soul Eater and Full Metal Alchemist and Attack on Titan. They all were like, they're a chunky story, but like they're this long. That's it. And there's every now and then a spinoff to this or that, but this is the show, you know?
Yeah, that's the plus side with like a lot of manga and a decent bit of anime is like they have an ending. Like there is an ending. Like I love Western comics. I love me some Batman, love me specifically Superman. Like I love all that stuff. But the plus side with anime and manga is like there is an end point. Like there is a ending. And like for Western comics that are like cyclical, like Superman or stuff like that, action comics, all that, you could say there's an end point. It's usually a writer starts their run, and once their run is over in like 3 to 4 years, you could kind of say that's an ending because they usually write somewhat of an ending for their run. Then the next art team and writer start their thing and goes like that, just a cycle. But I do like that with manga and anime is like it's beginning and we have an end. We might do spin-offs with other characters and whatnot, but like the main story will end.
Yeah. And that's why I only watch One Piece on occasion. I'm still like really behind, but shows like Dragon Ball that are just let's pump it. Like I'm sure, you know, out of the long run, there's very high points and diamonds, but there's also a lot of just filler. And
Yeah,
I want my story to be a very entertaining story,
Yeah.
And with going back to Game of Thrones, George is far from finishing the Song
Right.
of Ice and Fire. And I think that put a death nail on the show. And with House of the Dragon, he's done all the histories. He's already done
Yeah.
the world building and the histories, and they're very condensed and they're done. Like they're just there for the taking and writing. So I think House of Dragon has a very good future ahead of it. I wouldn't have invested in it otherwise, but I have. I also went into it understanding that HBO knows damn well what they did, what happened with Game of Thrones, and they're like,
Yeah.
we can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a lot of faith in House of the Dragon right now. It's like a similar feeling I had with Attack on Titan. I just was like, this is gonna go places. This is gonna go somewhere awesome, and it didn't disappoint. So
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's it. All we have for this week. Thank you for joining me, Brandon. Is there anything you want to close out on?
No, that's pretty much it. People can check out my stuff, Dismay Comics, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Gallows Man 3 Kickstarter coming up, hopefully in October. Not the Gallows Man 3. Gallows Man 3 Kickstarters will be in September. But hopefully in October or January, the project I'm working on with a few artists, that Kickstarter will come out at that time. And then all these other books and stuff will 2025 I feel like will be a lot going on.
Yeah.
But it'll be good. And then me and Austin's mini comic, you can come trick or treat where we are. You can get that, or go to a convention we're at or whatever.
Yeah. We'll have a lot of those.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. And I don't think I have anything else. Just go to the Deep South Paracomic-Con. It's a lot of fun. There's going to be an after party for ages 21 and up at the local bar, I think, for just a few hours. So a lot of people talking probably all sorts of things. A lot of people probably talking life. A lot of people talking ghosts, Bigfoot, aliens. It's a lot of fun. So,
is the bar haunted?
I don't know, but I know that the floor that we're staying in the what is it? I don't remember the hotel. It's like something akin to a Hampton Inn or something. But the top floor, they have a very particular room that is supposed to be haunted that a lot of the workers don't like working in.
Okay.
Because of mysterious things, and Teresa and Stan were like, we want that room. So but yeah, it's a fun time. Y'all head on out. It is the Deep South. It is an Ozark, so people around the panhandles, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, and in those southern parts, it's a very simple drive to get to. So look forward to it. And you can come get autographs and see me question a demonologist and an exorcist. So I've been Austin Light with American Demon Comics. You can find me at AmericanDemonComics.com and on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at American Demon Comics. And I've been joined by Brandon Ingram, comic book writer for Dismay Comics. You can find him at Dismay Comics on Instagram and Facebook. So catch you next time.
Take care.